I get a double drum roll. Thanks.
He tried to steal my job, man. Everybody knows as the producer, I'm the one that does the sound.
That's true. We have designated roles. Everybody, welcome to BGST, the #1 Xbox podcast you give a shit about. And we are live tonight, Sunday night. We got Game of Thrones, which will be ending tonight, but our show is just beginning. Yeah, tonight's the season finale.
Get the fuck out of here. It can't be.
Oh, listen, 10 episodes comes and goes before you even know
it's been 10 episodes?
Yeah, man. 10 weeks flew by.
Well, they're probably gonna give us another repeat for the night and stretch it out to next week.
Well, listen, I got news for you. You know what's even more entertaining than, what's his name there? Crow there actually fighting an entire army is Crap Gamer giving zero fucks about a lot of people and talking about it. I love it. And he's Crap Gamer's my hero this week. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, we'll cue that song. You know what I'm saying? Like, I fucking love it. But, hey, there's a lot of stuff going on.
Yes, it is.
A lot of hard. Well, okay, we can jump into the hardware stuff, but I usually think it's best to wait a little bit for people to join in. Okay, otherwise, you know what I mean? So we can talk about some bullshit a little bit, like, hey, Tim, what's going on, bro?
Hey, bro, how you doing, man?
Hey, bro.
I got a pet Scorpio. It's a fucking around right
now. Oh, my God. Well, listen, like I said, I've been out of the loop. Again, you know, guys, what I'm going through in my personal life. But besides that, fill me in. I've been out, like I said, I don't know what the hell's going on this week again. What did I miss?
Well, it looks like Red Dead Redemption is going to finally come to backwards compatibility for Xbox One. I think that's going to be pretty big.
Okay.
Did you guys see, like, I don't know, like, I know people downplay the backwards compatibility stuff.
Okay.
But Fallout New Vegas just came to backwards compatibility, and it shot up the charts on Amazon.
How much is the game?
I think it's like $20 on Amazon or something.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you notice, like, every time some big title like that gets announced, it shoots up the charts. Mm-hmm. So you would assume that people would be, like, really dying to get on there. Also, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, apparently this is also leaked as being just about ready to go backwards compatible. So I think that we're starting to get some very interesting games finally for that service. I like it because they beat the hell out of the new Call of Duties. So, you know, as far as I'm concerned...
I got a question. We can maybe a little bit, like, I guess a little hardware oriented. Do we have a confirmation, or maybe not even a confirmation, what the quote-unquote the Xbox Scorpio, what games that may have came out in the past that may have been sub-HD on the Xbox One, will they receive a performance boost, or maybe...
When you say sub-HD, do you mean less than 1080p?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm talking about 1080p 60 or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Can they receive it before?
Anything with dynamic scaling will
yeah, like Halo 5 would, but like if a game just launched at a flat 900p, it wouldn't.
Not even with a patch? You know what I'm saying?
They could patch it.
They could patch it, but it's doubtful.
Yeah, I mean, depending on what it is, I mean.
The reason why I say that, though, and again, the reason why I say that, because I remember we talked about it months and months, maybe a year ago. I think it was a developer from The Witcher 3 and Batman, and those games we know wasn't DirectX 12. And they said that that their games are the engine. I'm sorry, is compatible with DX12, and they can go back and patch the game if they choose to. And we all know that PC or anything is one code for Windows 10 period, any Windows 10 device. So you think that some of these games may go back and get it patched as far as like DX12, and even the guy from Project Spark, he mentioned it also. And will receive if some of the games in sub 1080p or no.
I'll give my take on this. I think games like Rise of the Tomb Raider, games like Rise. I do think that Microsoft's going to revisit certain games in their library, and they're going to make them with Scorpio. They're going to make them 4K compatible.
That'd be nice.
I do see that happening now. The question
about Quantum Break. Finally,
Quantum Break is possible too, or that could just be a straight 10. I mean, the way they did a different kind of render technique, so that might be a little more complicated. But a game like, let's say, Sunset Overdrive. Forza.
First party games are all going to be like, okay, like check this out. We're going to get Forza Horizon 3 on this year on Xbox One, and that's going to be 30 frames per second on Xbox One.
Right.
When you play it on at 1080p, when you play it on Scorpio, I'm sure that it's going to be they're going to patch it to match the specs on the PC,
right,
which is going to be 4K and 60. So
that's basically what I'm saying.
I suspect is that you're going to be charged an upgrade fee or something. I don't think that they're just going to
What do
have
you
those
mean?
games. What I think is going to happen, this is just my speculation.
Uh-huh.
If they do go back and they do some work, they're gonna obviously resell the game at 4K. But if you want to upgrade for 4K, you're probably gonna have to
You,
pay
you
five,
think
ten
they're just like
dollars.
that? That's kind of cheap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do see them. That's just my speculation.
The reason,
But
maybe
Well,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Rod Ferguson said that they've made Gears 4 with Scorpio in mind.
Yeah.
So they're
Yeah.
they're just gonna fucking. I
that's gonna
mean,
be 4K HDR.
yeah, like
Yeah.
anything I think that has the PC version like that, I would assume they're just gonna.
Well,
It's gonna be a patch that you're gonna be able to enable,
The,
right?
the
I
thing
mean,
I'm
like,
looking forward to is what you guys have already harped on, but the difference between what we're talking about now and what we've had to like deal with for this generation is this. With this generation here, we had to take our old 360 games, they had to get remastered, brought up to snuff, and then we had to repurchase them, right? And all these games that we've been buying the past 3 years. In this case, games that we currently own, when you have the Scorpio one day, will just appear and then be better 4K compatible, if you will, on the Scorpio. So you don't have to rebuy. And this is all going back to what Phil said originally, okay? Phil's whole thing was you own your games, you play your games anywhere,
games, yeah.
anytime, always, okay? So when you buy this Scorpio, this isn't the same situation like we dealt with the we're gonna eventually name this era the stopgap era, okay? The Xbox One, the PlayStation 4, nothing more than just we're intermediates for what we're about to go into. And we're going to get a little bit into what the Neo is and what it actually won't be compared to what the Scorpio will be. But nonetheless, the point of the matter is the games that you've purchased will carry along with you and have the very good possibility of being upscaled or up-resed. So, I mean, anyone who's listening to the show and they're shrugging their shoulders going, great, now I got to pay another $60 for another GTA 5? No, you don't have to. My point is that Rise of the Tomb Raider, of course, more Microsoft Central games. Halo 5 is going to be number one. Scorpio comes out, I think Halo 5 is going to be ready in 4K, and that's going to be beautiful. Beautiful pushing at 60 frames.
Yeah, well, the reason why I don't think they would charge is because it would help the the longevity of the game to sell more.
Mhm.
At the end of the day, I look at it like at some of the games that were released, older games that were released on the backwards compatible list and shot, right up the sales chart. You know what I mean? Oh, now we can play Rise of Tomb Raider in 4K. Fuck, I'm about to go buy it. I gotta see how that looks. So I mean, I hope they would. I mean, that to me, that's like, if you say anti-consumerism, like, god damn, like don't do us like that. Especially because they've been there from day
I don't
one.
know. I don't know. So sometimes you see like a $5 thing or something like that, but
That's just. Would you imagine that would be in
that's just my speculation. If they're gonna take the developers and they're gonna actually go back into a game and they're gonna modify it so it can run 4K and disable maybe some AA, because at 4K I think you don't really need as high as AA. But that's I'm not a developer.
Yeah.
I don't know how much workload that would be. But at the end of the day, like you guys said, you can resell the game too. People who haven't bought Rise of the Tomb Raider
We'll buy it.
that will buy it because
Okay.
if they can add HDR too in with these games, it's a big deal. You could even argue HDR and 4K, which is more valuable, even though they come with each other. HDR is a pretty big deal, and Microsoft's at the forefront with this.
yeah, it is. It is a big deal, but I can guarantee a game like Witcher 3 will get a 4K patch on Xbox because they're using some DirectX 12 in there anyway. It'll be easy enough. CD Projekt Red does that. It's scalable anyway, right? Like it's scalable. Like same thing with games like Dragon Age Inquisition and things like that. So I could definitely see some bigger developers. There goes Amazio banned again.
I just blocked him. Fuck him.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Amaziago.
Yeah. But yeah, I could definitely see some of the bigger games get that bump or whatever. You know what I mean? So I think that it'll be interesting. Like for those interested, I still think that the S is going to be the main console for most people.
It's the entry. It's the
Yeah.
It's the entry. I've said this for a while that the Xbox One would take over the 360. As far as like Microsoft introduction to the ecosystem, probably at $200. But here's the thing, though. What do you think they're going to ask for the Neo? I mean, sorry, the Neo, the Scorpio, $500.
500, yeah. I would
500.
say in 600, but 500 seems like.
Okay, but here's the thing. Going by the, we know the rumored specs, the stuff that we add into it, whatever that's inside the Scorpio. If you were to put those specs into a gaming rig, we're talking about at least $1,500 fucking. That's why I was telling you guys, like, this might be Microsoft's end game to get the PC crowd, over here on the quote unquote Scorpio. You know what I mean? You can buy all
It's
that
the
fucking power.
enthusiast console. Like, it's the one that I'm sure that they would have been.
It's the console for all console for gamers. But it's just the Scorpio. Hear me out. It's gonna be the gamers fucking console. Here you got Microsoft with all the great policies and stuff they didn't change, and they're very consumer friendly. And now they have a console. You know what I mean? That's not lacking in anything. It's the top dog, the best company, best controller, best online. Now the hardware finally meets the policy and the software and the networking, so it's a win-win all across the fucking board. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, as far as I'm concerned, I think that Microsoft would have been happy just to let the generation ride out with the S or whatever, their Slim. But then they're like, they see that there's a demand, just like the Elite controller. Like, we don't know. Has it sold 1 million? I don't know. I mean, a lot of people have it, but it's the hardcore that have it. I would assume that the hardcore is the audience. Like, a lot of people think that the Scorpio is going to be, oh man, it's going to need to be cheap. It's going to need to be $400 because they're going to want to outsell. This isn't the one that I believe is meant to outsell PlayStation 4. To be honest with you, I don't think that. I think this is the enthusiast hardcore console, and this is the high-end one. And they'll probably do 2 every generation, or if there's a bump each generation, you know what I mean? Like, if there's like 4K, like I said, that was the native 4K gaming, and I said that months and months ago would be the bump that you aim for. If you can't do that, there's no real point. That's why I think the Neo is a complete waste of time, because it's not doing it. And you look at it, and everybody was like, but the teraflops. And then I'm sitting there looking at it, and I'm asking Hellhammer and people, I'm like, look, the bandwidth and the memory is extremely low. It's not a big bump in that. That's going to really limit what you can do. Fuck the teraflops. People are focused on that way too much. It's not the teraflops. That thing could be, 5.5 like these motherfuckers are trying to claim now, and it doesn't matter because the bandwidth is still the bandwidth, and they're still using 8 gigs of GDDR5.
Okay, but doesn't the Neo has a slightly higher memory bandwidth?
No. Well, it does, but only slightly higher.
The PS4 right now is 176.
And it's supposed to be 2 something.
No,
and it's 216.
Yeah, they upped it. They upped the clock.
All right.
So it's a 24% uptick. It's 218 gigabit, which at 5.5, I agree, it doesn't make sense.
But where's this 5.5 coming from?
The 5.5, now I'm going to give the backdrop of this, okay? There's a guy that his name is Black Aureus who did leak. He did
Osiris?
not leak Aureus. He did he did leak the fact that the Neo is going to come out, and he did leak it that it was going to be the 4.14 spec. Now there was talk that there was 2 models, okay, that were being considered. One was a model with a better CPU, which is they call the blue pill, and 5.5 was rumored. Now, how they come to that calculation, I don't know. Now, what's going on is what happened was, now just to preface this, Eurogamer came out 2 days ago and said they've heard sources that the Neo is coming out this year. And they've seen the internal documents that both myself and Crap have seen, which states 4.4 explicitly. They also did a breakdown of the dev kit, I believe. And
not a solid-state drive. This thing is literally, the Neo is literally a 0.5 upgrade. That's it. It's not as big as like initially thought. Like when you just look at it, like when in comparison to Scorpio, like that's why the Sony fans have done 2 things, right? First thing is they get angry. The second thing is, they deny it. You know what I mean? They come up with stuff like this. Well, Sony can do this, this, and this, or they try and just say shit like, like what we're seeing now, the narrative where it doesn't matter, the power doesn't matter.
Well, now it's back to this is what happened. A guy named Pro Elite, who now is claiming that they're going to have 16 gigabits of RAM. He's went Mr. Media on us. Yeah, he's totally crazy.
On the Sony side, though.
Yeah, he made a post in, of all places, GAF, where this all starts up. He made a post saying that Blue Pill is out and he says, and he puts in black where you have to uncover it. It says, Black Ori is said, of course. Now basically that basically got everyone going. Thue got involved, and they're coming up with all these scenarios. And Black Warrior said, "Well, what if they take out the power brick?" So what they're talking about is putting an overclock on the existing APU that they have that planned, and put the power box. They'll actually have a power brick. This is where it's going now, and or what they're speculating on, and that it's going to hit 5.5 with an overclock, and all is great. Sony's back now. The thing is that I'm not going to say it's completely out of the realm of possibility, but I'm going to tell you that it's
that much in the console.
Yeah, I'm going to just say that this is very unlikely scenario, and this is just basically NeoGAF and Sony fanboys basically trying to save face because they know they look stupid when it comes to talking power.
Tim, you're talking about a fucking teraflop. Ain't that much over? This is a console.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that I don't believe it. I believe that they're still going to go with the Jaguar, and they're going to go with the 4.14.
Even if
if they reverse course, you're talking about a March 2017 release with a better CPU, let's just say, and you're still talking the same memory bandwidth with an overclocked Polaris APU.
Listen, fuck all that. Listen, you're talking about 2 years. And let's be real. This console's been it's fucking the cat's out of it. This console's been in production, for development. I'm sorry, for 2 years. We're talking about the R&D. You know what I mean? That's not something you can just do in 4 months or 3 months.
Right? No, I agree. But they always said that there was two models. There was
but even if you the variable was as far as what CPU. You know what I mean? What CPU, what they were going to use. But even if they use a different CPU, you're not talking about a teraflop in fucking performance.
Yeah, I don't know how they're coming to that 5.5. This is, like I said, this is all. This is, in my opinion, mental gymnastics.
No, they're using the RX 480, the rumored GPU.
Right, and they're supposedly overclocking at 25%.
Listen, but that's a desktop GPU. You understand what I'm saying? We're talking. Listen, I don't. Fuck
big
that.
GPU, right?
Yeah, you have a card that's probably about the size of a graphics card. It's about the size of a PlayStation 4. Like, come on. That's why you don't use mobile fucking desktop GPUs and fucking laptops.
Just for the record, I'm going to say that this is. I'll say that it might be possible, but it's doubtful.
Okay.
They're gonna go 4.14, and they're like I told people for a long time. Their specification is for VR, okay? Neo is not trying to hit the 4K market like Scorpio is. They're trying to have their VR games look better than they do on a vanilla PS4. Now the PS4 is demoing in certain areas. You can find it on you can Google it, but it is demoing. I think in the city they're doing it. The kickback we're getting is that it's cool, but the graphics are, just like we said, the image quality is poor. It's not on a high level. With the Neo, you'll get a better graphical VR experience, and like I said, that is their main objective right now. They need to support PSVR, so that's why I think the Neo is coming alongside PSVR, so that they can show these higher end VR games on the Neo, running on the Neo mode, and they will be a little more enticing than just on the PS4 vanilla. Because from what I heard, and you could read, there's been numerous impressions and stuff. The impressions that I read, the image quality or the graphics on the PSVR with vanilla is not it's not a higher. It's like a PS3 experience. PS2 on some games, but a PS3 experience is what's been said. Does not look like it's not what you'd expect.
Not what they showed at E3. I mean, it's fact.
Well, or just it's not going to be impressive to you. If you want a higher fidelity experience, you're going to either go with Oculus, Vive, or you're going to wait for the monster Scorpio.
Here's the funny thing to me, right? Look, the reason Microsoft is like people act like Microsoft shit is locked in stone. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, Microsoft tipped their hand too soon. No, they didn't. Microsoft is playing fucking perfectly. You announce what you have. You wait and see what Sony does. You counter. Sony's going to have to come out with their shit this year. They've already said it. We've seen the documents. There's nothing about two different fucking SKUs. They're giving it's straight in the documents. They're like, here's the buffers. Here's how you do upscale 4K. Go for 1440 on most games if you can because there's not a big difference. Blah blah blah. Here's what we're doing. Here's our CPU. It's overclocked. It's the same shit CPU. Same shit. No solid state drive in this. Same 8 gigs of GDDR5. Right. That's basically what it is. I mean, at this point in time, the parts that you would need and look.
At the end of the day, Scorpio's not going to be beat. I will guarantee you that.
Right.
And at the end of the day, if they did up it, guess what? Just like Xbox did with Xbox One, they can up it. Now, from what I heard, the 6 T-flops is not a 6.00. It is in the 6 teraflop spectrum. So you could be 6.6, you could be 6.3.
Right.
We don't know that.
Microsoft has the calendar on their side, and I think that's what Crap and Tim are alluding to. You guys are right, because no matter what Sony does, okay, Microsoft threw this volleyball up there. Sony's going to try and spike it, but the problem is that Microsoft's got a defender all the way laced across the bottom of the net. Yeah, because they got time on their side. If Sony decides, hey, we're going to up this to 6, go ahead. Microsoft can up it to 8 and they can eat it. You know what I'm saying?
And somebody answer me this, though, but how this, I mean, again, this is not how business works. They already signed contracts with AMD. You know what? Give us fucking 2 million SoC chips. So what they made AMD to make these fucking chips with Sony. You can say, no, I'm sorry, no, we want. It doesn't. What the fuck is what?
Zaire,
2 million chips.
Zaire, I'm 110% on your side. The only thing is that the wild card here, the Joker in the card deck, is we're talking about Sony. It's not the same, right? It's not the same as what I'm about to say. This is not apples to apples, okay? This is apples to apple strudel. But give me a second, okay? The fact of the matter is, in 2013, we all know Sony tore the camera out of the box once they saw the poor reception for Kinect, and they saw that the money when Phil Spencer was mic'd when he walked off stage when he said $4.99. And people were booing, and he's mic'd as saying, it's caught on audio saying, what, they didn't like the price? What was wrong with that? Or something. I'm paraphrasing, but he was shocked because for all the equipment you're getting in the box, $4.99 was a good price. But the thing is people didn't want the camera. So Sony's known for ripping the camera out and then making a false claim like, your used games work here too. They were going to do the same thing Microsoft was going to do. This time, Microsoft decided to be the Sony. They're letting them go out there. Sony's going to be the bad guy first. Sony's the one that introduced a new console which devastated and home wrecked what we currently have in our homes today, okay? They're the home wreck. Sony is the home wrecker of 2016, okay? Because they're bringing another console into your house when you were not prepared for that console to be coming into your home. So they're the home wrecker. Microsoft's sitting there saying, hey, by the way, we've got a 6 T-flop beast coming out next year. If Sony goes, okay, we are the sons of bitches we are, we're going to pull this PS4 back to Neo, we're going to put 5.5 T-flops in, Microsoft's like, you just took the bait. We'll go up to 7, 8, whatever it is that they got to do. Plus, don't forget, all these articles that you're reading, I think Tim was alluding to this too. When you're reading these articles that they say the 5.5, there's different ways to accumulate the power, and I'm not the person necessarily to get into this, but you can accumulate the power and add it up differently when you're talking about. So they could say that hypothetically the Neo would push around 5, but it's using every last physical resource in the box. Microsoft, which is what Crap just said, is saying 6. But if they really want to push the damn thing to its limits, they could probably get that thing up into the high 6s, which would still give it a significant bump over the Neo. And remember, guys, at the very minimum, we're talking about a 2-3 year console here before new generation.
But it's also not about T-flops. It's also
Right.
about Sony. Microsoft's rumored to, per Eurogamer now, we're using the Digital Foundry people. They are using the Vega technology, which would have 60 compute units compared to PlayStation Neo 36, and also the the bandwidth, which is a big deal. Basically, you have to have bandwidth is basically a pipe with information that can pass through.
That's
Okay,
the reason why Xbox One has problems with 1080p sometimes.
Exactly. Now they have a 218 gigabit speed of RAM on PS4 Neo. Now on Xbox Scorpio, it's going to be over 320. That is a big deal. You're going to see big returns on that. So at the end of the day, Scorpio has it's going to be the most powerful console, and it's going to do better in terms of multi-plats, and that's just not debatable.
Look, here's the thing.
That's the way it's going to end up.
Sony wants to launch theirs before Microsoft does. If they can get theirs out this year, even at a weaker price point, I think that's what they're going. I mean, a weaker spec point. That's what they're going to do because people are suckers and people buy PlayStation products anyway.
But
I mean, that's just the fact.
Is the VR? If Sony's not, the VR is coming out again this year, and Sony is heavily invested in it. Okay, so they spent the R&D on that took I'm talking about $500 million. Okay, and Sony is not fucking rolling in the fucking dough here, and they're making a new fucking console. If the VR is coming back out this year, you need the Neo to show off the best spec, show off the VR the best way possible if you want this thing here to sell. Secondly, if you listen to what Phil said we could have put out a beefier Xbox One this year, but the technology wasn't there. They wanted a true 4K gaming experience, native. And, in the Zen, it's not, those chips are not coming out until next year. So I just don't know, man. This all 5.5. Where's this extra teraflop and a half coming from? I'm looking up and down the street. I still don't see it. I don't. Same memory. Again, how the fuck we're talking about the goddamn console comes out in October, November. If that was the case, Microsoft would have changed the specs from the Xbox One when it came out. It was be more powerful.
You're getting people that are becoming they're getting desperate. It's the same people that it's through it's the same forum that this is trying to push on NeoGAF. They are desperate because they know that they can't play power doesn't matter because they played their hand in that. They said power was the biggest thing, and they put a premium on that. So they tried to, and they were laughed at. So now we're getting this is the fallout from that. Like I said, for me, if Sony's smart, they would do the Neo because you're going to get it at a low price point of $399, and it's going to be geared towards VR and not 4K. But they basically were blindsided by Microsoft. They thought Microsoft would not be doing this, and Microsoft got one up on them. And you know what? That's just the way it goes. Microsoft got one up on them. Sony got.
They would announce it. There's nothing. I'm listening again. If we knew specs of said console, I'm quite sure they heard. But I don't think they knew that Microsoft was going to announce it.
They got blindsided, and now it's more of the fanboys that push this. This premium on resolution and all the bullshit. That they got to eat their L. They got to eat their loss, and they don't want to do it.
So what do you do come said October or November, and this console is not 5.5 T-flops? Then what?
You just say you go, they're going to come out with one next year.
Yeah.
Crap, you're botting.
Yeah, no, but that's exactly what it's going to be. It's going to be.
I'm not botting.
No, but it's going to be mental gymnastics. It's funny to see as an Xbox fan. We could just sit back and just enjoy this because these are the people that basically threw a frame rate difference in our face, a resolution they made it out to be night and day. Those people now are scrambling, and at the end of the day, it's God bless you. At the end of the day, it's gratifying to see because we stuck by Xbox.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And these people now got to eat the L, and they're not going to have the most powerful console on
Tim, Mooch, crap. We've all said this. Well, like I said, we all know somebody that knows somebody. Just to say that. And what I was told, what's going forward, and the person that told me doesn't have a dog in this fight, at all. You know what I mean? They said when it comes to hardware again, Microsoft will never be outdone. You know what I mean? We can argue all day who has the better exclusives. You know, I like Gears, you like God of War.
Subjective, right?
No, okay, that's subjective.
Right.
But the multiplats, I always told you guys, multiplats rule. You know what I mean? You get multiplats every Tuesday. You get exclusive every 3 to 4 or 5 months, right? You know, and that's been, how should I say, Sony's thunder and lightning that they had this quote unquote these said best iteration of these said modems, whether it be a higher resolution, higher frame rate, whatever the fucking case may be. Right. Going forward, now you're taking Sony's, you're taking their ace up their sleeve. No longer will you guys have the better version of these said multiplats, okay? Also, you know, now here's some. We got God of War, we got No Days, what the fuck the goddamn of the goddamn. Oh, that's cool. But you talking about games they may come out in 2019. My answer to you guys, where the fuck is Deep Down? I've seen that goddamn game in 2013. You understand what I'm saying? And it's not me hating on Sony or saying that Microsoft has to have the strongest consoles. I'm gonna own every fucking thing. It is what it is, but I just don't see how the fuck you can they're trying to throw away 2 years of R&D. And I think they're not really taking into account, like, that's very important. The fact that, you know what, they tested these set specs, make sure the console's not going to overheat, got enough airflow, yada, 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 for 2 years. And say, you know what, now we don't want, we're going to throw away those millions of dollars. You know what, AMD, fuck the contract we just signed for those SoC chips. Give us those right there on the second shelf. Like, what the fuck, like, that's not business.
Well, and I reiterate this, from the documents, it looks like going forward they're going with the 4.14, Neo at $399 with all the rumored specs. And you know, you look at outlets like Eurogamer, and you look at outlets like Kotaku and these outlets, they're full bore on with these specs. Nobody's reporting this 5.5 other than GamePer, who is using an illegitimate source in Thuwei.
That is a good point.
And they're basically, you know, if you see the bigger outlets, like if you see Eurogamer report on it, but right now this is just basically it's something that is being put out there that you know, the option A and B that was put out there that might have happened, but I think at this point they've moved forward and now they're in full production, or they pretty much got dev kits out there that are reflecting the 4.14. They might up it a little, they might overclock it a little, but again, Microsoft could totally counter that. And we don't know. Everyone thinks it's going to be 6 T-flops on the dot. I know that there was talk on the floor. We don't know the full deal
we know.
Scorpio. But Scorpio, like I said, is going to be at the minimum the most powerful console. So I saw Jabari, my man Jabari, make a video 5 days ago about how he's just damage controlling, how they're the same thing. There is going to be a power difference. There's no way around.
Tim. Have you ever heard people wish for an external power brick as much as people are for the PS4 Neo?
No, I love it.
It is so funny.
Now these fucking hypocrites want a fucking power brick. This is how pathetic they are, and that's why I love our community, because at least one thing we try to be consistent. You know, we do say these people fucking ridicule Xbox over a power brick. Now these motherfuckers want it because they want an extra T-flop of fucking of processes. Now they're all about the external power brick. So it is funny. It's just hilarious how
the last time I checked, 5.5 is still less than 6.
Exactly. So,
again,
and 320 is more than 218, and 60 is more than 36. So just accept it.
Yeah.
You guys got duped. So did Sony. Microsoft did the right thing. They listened to our fans. And that's why maybe you should start talking to your people at Sony. Ask for some folders. Ask for some some way to change your name, some simple shit, and stop worrying about Xbox, guys.
They are looking, according to the other documents that I got, they are looking into being able to finally let people change their names. But again, according to these internal documents, they're not even sure that they'll ever be able to do that. They're like, we're looking into this, but we can't really announce it because we haven't figured it out yet.
I don't know, man. All this shit here is kind of wild to me, man. I think it's, and again, it's not. I will say
At
this.
the
It's
end of
not.
the day, listen. At the end of the day, when Scorpio comes out, Scorpio, we're gonna have the best online. We're gonna have the most stable online. We're gonna have the most powerful console. Okay, we're gonna have pretty much
The best controller.
the best controller,
Best community.
best community. It's just you know what? It's just a step above. I hate to say it, but it is. Now games are subjective.
Yep.
You could say what you want. You like JRPGs. I don't like JRPGs. I like platformers. Blah blah blah. Sony does have a good and they are competing well. But right now, it's just you're dealing with Microsoft's doing a better job. And when you admit that, then you could start start taking you seriously, because all fucking gen was your low powered under piece of shit powered fucking 720p box, get the fuck out Xbox.
Right.
That's
Right.
all it's been. Now it's that narrative's over and you got to eat your L's, okay?
No,
Hey, I agree, man. It's funny.
Eat
People,
it, delicious, love it, like it, live with it. I don't know. I know
What was that Tim was saying now? Tim, what was the whole thing with the PS4 Neo? You're saying something about the power brick. What are they saying about that?
they want the power brick to be external
So
so
you
that
want
you
power.
can overclock the internals so that it can run. But when you
But
overclock
haven't
it, it runs
Haven't
hotter.
we just done a 180 of all magnitudes on this, right? I mean, every single thing. Here we are, we're talking about Scorpio coming out with the most powerful console at the end of next year, and now we're back to the narrative of games, right? We're back to that. And now Microsoft comes out and does everything on the wish list, putting the external inside. There's an IR blaster for everybody who doesn't have Kinect. This, that, the other thing. They give you everything you've wanted when you sat on Santa's lap. And now we're talking about the exact opposite, and everybody's
Hey,
okay
shout
with
out Mikey Barra, who's
Yeah, Mike.
watching us right now in the chat.
I welcomed everybody in the text.
Shout out to Mike. Mike.
Shout out.
Mikey Barra,
Well,
great guy.
you look at backwards compatibility.
Yeah.
Microsoft does not charge you for that. Okay,
No.
Sony does. So it just needs to. People need to start being real about the situation. Just take it like two sets of cars. One car is getting everything, and the other car is getting a little bit here and there. You got to start actually just calling it like it is, and that's all. I think that's what this podcast and a lot of other podcasts want. It's just like we're that alternative, because the media, unfortunately, will turn a blind eye. They'll change the narrative on a dime. But at the end of the day, I'm just looking for somebody to call it the way it is, and
That's right.
That's all we want.
Well, did you guys see? Like how quick the narrative turned once Microsoft was like, "Hey, we're gonna have this powerful console." Look at Eurogamer. What's the first thing that they say? It's going forward, it's not going to be about pixel count. What? You know what I mean? You guys have been pushing that
Crazy.
pixel count the entire generation, and all of a sudden, have you noticed that's completely died down now? Like nobody's talking about it.
Crap, you're 100% right. When Digital Foundry couldn't find anything wrong with either of the games, that's what exactly they went to at the very end. They're like, well, we have to give the win to the PS4 because of the pixel count. It always went back to the Ps, but now, ever since Scorpio's been announced, the Ps are irrelevant.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, you know what? At the end of the day, man.
That's so crazy. And now external power bricks are good.
Yeah.
Bring the power on the outside, will you?
Yeah.
Let's bring the Duke back.
But
Now we want
listen,
the
at the end of
Duke.
the day, though, but even if they put the brick outside the box, right? You're not overclocking for a teraflop like that. I just want to be clear that that's a lot of mustard and hot dog there.
5.5 218 bandwidth does not make a lot of sense. So
It doesn't, unless
to me,
they
it doesn't make a lot of sense.
unless Sony, hit us with the rope-a-dope again, like they did with the only thing with I guess they gave developers only access to 4 gigs of
Right.
but you're normally a dev kit.
Well, the
has
story
extra
on
RAM.
that was they never thought that they were going to be able to get the G5. What they thought was the quantities would be the Samsung, whoever was making them, they thought they were only going to be able to supply for 4 gigs. Once they heard that they could, and I heard it was like a day before Cherny's conference when they did it. I don't remember if you remember when Cherny was talking in New York, and he was like an 8 gigabits of GDR5, and it came up on the screen. Supposedly, that was like a last-minute decision because they did not know if they could secure enough of the RAM modules to compensate launch. So basically, that's why that was. Now, this whole thing with the blue pill and Black Aureus, like I said, until until you hear Eurogamer or a big outlet actually report on it, don't give it any credence, because right now it's just
Eurogamer, who has a guy who writes for them, who admitted on NeoGAF that he hates
Linneman.
Microsoft. Yeah, he hates Microsoft and wishes they never got into the industry. I mean, this guy is a person that writes for them and says that he hates Microsoft.
But
And
here's the thing, though. Maybe
I actually had talked to him. He's not that. I mean, he did delete that post, and yes, it is indicative. But John, in my opinion, is just kind of.
That's like saying this. If I mean, listen. I guess I don't know. Let's look back at the whole bigger picture. And I don't understand. Maybe because I've never gamed on PC, or I never understood all the hate quote unquote, for Microsoft. I mean, we all heard the rumors, but Bill Gates wanted to control the population and yellow would sign vaccine. I know all that wild shit did. But what I'm saying at the end of the day, I look at all the, I used to say the things that Microsoft brought to gaming for us. They really, I'm not saying you didn't have online gaming before, but they really took it to quote unquote to the next level. Voice chat mandatory in every game. We're talking back in 2002, fellas. Voice chat mandatory in every game. A friends list, game invites, you know what I mean? And then with the Xbox 360's achievements, Xbox Arcade, party chats, you know what I mean?
They've always pushed the envelope, and they've always been popular. You look at Arena, and Arena is an excellent idea where people on this podcast, and we could set up a bracket and we could play tournaments. That's going to be something.
The tournaments are awesome, but what I'm looking forward to, and everybody on this podcast, especially I'm speaking for Zaire, I'm speaking for Crapping You. Look for group is fantastic. That's what we've all been waiting for, right? When you just want to play either a certain game, or Phil gave a good example during Xbox Daily, okay? He said, what about people who don't like to cuss? Or people who are over 40, right?
Yeah.
Or people over 40, right? Or you got people, there's one that's dads that play games after 10 p.m. You know what I mean? There's always something out there. These are great things and when the actual platform takes something like LFG's been out there for a while. A lot of people I know that play Destiny always go to LFG when they're looking to play a raid or something like that. But to have LFG look for group into the Xbox One platform, a part of your UI, it's a game changer. And people don't see this, and this is Microsoft being ingenuitive. And this is things that you see Sony do 2-3 years later, but the media praises them. And I want to go back a second. I want to go back a second to what Tim said. Tim, I don't know exactly about what tweet you're talking about with that guy from Polygon or whatever company.
The Digital Foundry you're talking about?
John. Yeah, John.
John Linneman, he posted in GAF. He posted, I wish Microsoft never enter. I wish they would leave the mic. I wish they would leave. He then deleted it. People got it snapshot.
Right.
It was an ill-advised.
So wait a minute. So now that was an ill-advised post, but nonetheless, listen. Sometimes when you hit the send button, that's like when you talk when you're drunk, right? It comes out from the gut. It's what you truly need. So I'm going to go ahead and hold him to his standard, especially since he's so high up in the industry over there. I'm also going to say this. Why is it that gentleman gets to say whatever he wants and then it gets stricken from the evidence profile?
Mm-hmm.
But then also we have somebody like that guy, Jeff something or another, that worked for, oh, God, can't remember. The guy who reviewed Quantum Break.
Jeff
Gertzman for Giant Bomb. And it's clearly publicly known that he stated he doesn't like third-person shooters, yet he's the one that goes out and does the review for the game. You
he did that, and he reviewed Quantum Break and Gears Ultimate.
Yes, it's clearly a sabotage.
It's clearly a
sabotage. And that's why a lot of people listen to this podcast and others, because they're tired of, like you said, Tim, the nonsense that goes on other shows, and we just speak the straight truth.
I mean, look, that's like me, right? Like, I don't like JRPGs or, for the most part, Japanese games. That'd be like me giving me a Japanese game to review. I'm going to be like, what the hell do I do now? You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to get a good review because I don't like those type of games. You know what I mean? So they give these games, and this, he didn't get to review Uncharted, right? Because they want Uncharted to get a good review. Like, this is the sort of stuff that we've been preaching for a while now. It's not fake or made up. You have people like Brad Sams, who came on the Crossfire podcast, who's in the media, who says that there is a media bias against Microsoft.
course
right?
there is.
I mean,
But why though? I don't understand.
I don't know.
What
Listen,
happened though?
I don't know. I can tell you my personal story. One of the reasons why I'm here today. I've always been a Microsoft fan, but one of the things that cued me into Microsoft was when I was going to computer career centers, and I was about 21 years old. 22 years old. I was learning like Novell, and I was thinking about, I was working for where I am now, but I was thinking about doing like IT stuff. And I had a couple of teachers, and these teachers hated Microsoft. They hated Microsoft, and I didn't know why. I was like, why? I like DOS. I like Windows 98. I don't understand. I don't understand. And supposedly it stems from them closing the platform, and people wanted computers to be open platform, and Microsoft basically closed the platform and said, we'll do it for you, and you're going to have to pay for it. And supposedly that's where it stems from. But other than that, the hate is a little irrational at this point. I don't get it. You look at it, and you look at these people that go to the lengths that they do just to hate on Xbox or to point out any little thing and then give a free ride on the other side. I can't explain that, but I can definitely tell you it is there. It's annoying, and we are definitely an alternative to that because, one, we call it out. Two, we speak about it, and we're not afraid to. We've people that try to silence us. There are people that try to silence us by intimidation, by using pictures, by using personal information,
Or harsh words that scare people, like racism, racist,
or yes, or throw
Homophobic.
these barbs out, about racism, then call us X-fags in the next statement, which does not make any kind of sense, because if you're going to be sensitive to one, how could you not be sensitive to the other? The same people that support X-fags, that people saying that like it's are the ones that are going off of some stupid bullshit. So yeah, there's a lot of hypocrisy there. There are people that don't want Xbox fans to be happy about Xbox. To point it in a positive light, and it's sad because I look at what happened at E3. Okay, now I was there. I was with all the guys, and I saw that should have been a time where Microsoft got a little love. Paul Thurrott, who usually is killing Microsoft, actually wrote a nice article, but every other article was like, "I'm confused." All of a sudden, I'm confused. The messaging is weird.
Hey, I even did a video about it. I was like, look, how can you be confused by what they said? You know what I mean? It's very simple with what they're doing.
Simple.
How come they're the ones getting attacked? Sony came out and announced that they have a more powerful PS4 days before Microsoft came out and officially announced anything was in the works.
Right.
And nobody questioned Sony. Nobody's questioning Sony. Nobody cares.
They've come out and they say they have a $399 console. Okay, it'd be $399 PSVR, where you need the camera. The camera does not come with PlayStation VR unless you buy the $499 model. Okay, so there's two lines here. Microsoft is micromanaged. They're under the Microsoft, and Sony, on the other hand, can do what the fuck they want. And it's like,
you know what, Tim? It goes another step further. Not only are you so true with what you just said, but let's talk about something else that's under the.
Hey, can I just say something real quick?
Sure.
They even said that the Xbox Slim came with no controller.
yes.
Right.
How do you?
Right.
You can't even make that
And
up.
where was that perpetrated? Of all places, where
NeoGAF.
all the NeoGAF. So that's why I go after NeoGAF, because
But-
that's the talking point of
But
all
Tim,
this shit.
when all these guys try to actually push the blame on something else, can you believe this? Neo mode, okay, what we keep hearing about is Neo mode, is going to take developers twice the amount of time to push that code through. I'm using some technical, like untechnical terms, pardon me. Test mode. Whenever they have to test their code through, they have to run through twice with Neo mode where they don't with UWP. My point being here is that if this was Microsoft that was doubling down on the developers, you remember all the indie developers that came out with protests? Microsoft is awful to us. They're the worst in the world.
Everyone wants indie games. Now Microsoft does all the indie games. Nobody's talking about them.
Right.
Oh,
And
okay.
why aren't the developers stomping their feet and lighting a match, claiming shit towards Sony for the double the amount of work they have to do for the Neo mode? Where they, you don't hear anything about this.
No, they said they had no indie devs on their stage. None. Their show was 15
Now
minutes
all
less
of a
than it
sudden,
normally
yeah.
was, and yet they got nothing. Where Microsoft was showing probably one of the best looking ones, which is We Happy Few, and
Yeah.
it did
Great
get some
game.
hype. But Microsoft's not getting any love for like being the ones to showcase the indie developers this year, and Sony didn't.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden nobody cares about it. I mean, honestly, you cannot make this stuff up.
I don't know. You know how I feel about those indies, Jesus.
No, I understand. We've been pretty consistent. We've been consistent on it. But
Yeah.
what you're pointing out, I mean, I remember when PS4 first came out, and I had big fights with guys because they were like, I'm going to compare Flower to Titanfall. And
Yeah.
I'm like, how are you going to do that with a straight face? This is not even close to being the spectrum of the game. An indie is an indie. It's a smaller game. It's not on the same levels of AAA. We all know this.
Yeah.
But now, like the 180 is, as you say, is all being done on the Sony front, on the media front, on NeoGAF, Desperation, and as an Xbox fan, to me, I feel like vindicated because we've kept on this. They've tried to do whatever, millions of sock accounts. Trying to cyberbully people, calling me on my phone. One time, we're at a block of person, doing whatever that they could do, and we didn't back down. And now, it's becoming clearer to people, and I suspect it's going to even become clearer. But shout out to all of us and all the people that really kept it real during this time.
But you know what? To add on to what you said, they don't want to see Xbox. I won't say they don't want to see Xbox, man. They don't want to see us so vocal. You understand what I'm saying? And you take quote unquote big game and small talk. This shameless love here, but or either any of the characters or the people on this podcast here, we can't be cyberbullied or made to feel ashamed to say quote unquote to be an Xbox fan. Like I said this time and time and again, this generation, we didn't get the chance to enjoy our games. Everything. I mean, even with betas. The beta is 720p. Like Mike, and I've always said this. I think it's crazy that console gamers are arguing over frames per seconds and resolution. I've never console gamers. Where there were 99.9% of the PlayStation 3 games were sub HD.
Nobody was talking about the games. They were talking about the resolution.
Right.
So now that people say pixel counting doesn't matter, where the fuck was that mindset when Halo 5 beta came out? It was all about it being 720. Yeah. That's all it was about, not the game.
Yeah.
So guess what? Going forward, when the Scorpio, we're not going to talk about the game. No, it's still going to be about. Oh, your game is 1440p upscaled to 1080. I mean, the 4K.
No. You know what? I've already kind of said this that I'm gonna be having a good year and a half to rub this in. And people are loving it. If you look at my videos, I was getting a good even amount of likes and dislikes. A lot of dislikes lately, or I was a lot before the Scorpio. After Scorpio was announced, the dislikes went drastically down. Where'd they all go?
They flip-flopped.
They did. They flip-flopped. They're just going to be.
To the people listening, just a short segment, and I know we got Mike listening to us, and I want to thank him for that. But the one thing we got to talk about is what Crap's discussing right now, and that's the flip-floppers. Listen, it's fine to flip-flop. You want to go from console to console. Everybody on this podcast owns both consoles, okay?
Yeah.
That's the part that people don't seem to understand. We own all the consoles. We've owned them for many generations. That's why we talk the way we talk. And Tim nailed it right on the head early on in this podcast when he said the reason we do this is because there's been no Xbox outlet. There's been no Xbox outlet since day one. And the point of the matter is this. If you're a neutral, you can be neutral. But please don't be. I actually like the ponies and the Sony fanboys better than the neutrals.
You know where you stand.
Yeah. Listen, I got news for you, right? Listen, I got news for you. If we can all tap back into Franklin Delano Roosevelt, okay, and Winston Churchill's minds, they actually probably preferred some of the people they were fighting than some of the neutrals. Because the neutrals every day they were like, which way do you think they're going to go?
Yeah.
And nobody ever knew. And that's the problem. They're the ones that actually attack and make this fanboy war worse than it is because they say one thing to one side and one thing to the other. But then the minute you question them, they're like, no, I'm neutral.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not picking on Switzerland, but they're waving their flag left and right.
Meanwhile, the neutral guys. I mean, that's a whole different thing. But you're right. It's crazy how this is all unfolded.
It is, isn't it?
And what did Crap Gamer say before? Like, I remember distinctly saying, when Microsoft has the most powerful console, the narrative will change. And damned if Crap Gamer wasn't right, because you look around and everybody, it's changed. Like, look, the reason why there was a lot of Xbox fans, we all know them. We followed them on Twitter. Everybody was pro Xbox, and they fought that fight for a little bit. And then the haters started getting on them. And then it was Resolution, and then they all started going, well, really, I do like Xbox, but you know what? I bought a PS4 too, and you know, I'm just gamers win. You know, like all of a sudden they went from being pro Xbox to gamers unite. You know what I mean? And I'm sitting there looking like, are you serious? Like, for me, you got to take some of the hits. Like, it's for fun or whatever. But at the end of the day, you know, I get people that still go, hey, I didn't even know the Xbox One could play used games. I didn't know that you could play it offline.
Blame GameStop for that shit there. I didn't heard that. I don't know what the hell. What dog did GameStop having this fight here?
Well, they were the dog they were in was that they thought they were going to be out of business because they were being cut out.
Listen, at the end of the day, I've always how I feel about the whole used game thing. You know what I mean? And I just go back and again, and it's not because I've met a few developer people throughout my journeys here on YouTube, but I just looking at the bigger picture. Like, to me, they are the cancer to the gaming industry, because not only is this the only business, not only is Ubisoft competing against EA, and they're competing against each other for our said dollar, they're also competing against the people that are responsible for selling their software. So you know what? I'm going to sell Assassin's Creed Black Chronicles, whatever, for $55. But you know, but it's brand new for $60. So when you go in the store and you're gonna buy it for $55. EA didn't get $1 of that. Ubisoft doesn't get $1 of that. Only, GameStop. You know what I mean? Look how many developers have closed their doors since this generation. The people that released Myrtle Soul Suspect, that game released on Tuesday, their doors were closed by Friday. God damn. You know what I mean? So I didn't. It's not that I had. Anyone should have had a problem with the Microsoft, the thing. When you trade in your games, that the developers, got a piece of that. I didn't have a problem with that. I really didn't. You know what I mean? Not saying I'm some bleeding heart for all developers, and you got some scumbag devs out there, but for the smaller ones, you know what I mean? If you're tired of getting, well, I won't even say tired. If you're tired of getting the same Assassin's Creed every year and the same Call of Duty every goddamn year, you know what I mean? I think used games, I think developers should get a piece of that. You know what I mean? Maybe I don't know. I just think they should.
Well, I mean, listen. I mean, I wonder how sometimes if we went down that route, but at the end of the day, we weren't ready for it, and that is all history. But
I think we are. But here's the thing, and I do blame Microsoft for this. It's like I tell my wife, we arguing, Zaire, take out the trash, motherfucker. You know it stinks. So you know what I mean. So now I'm gonna shut down. I'm not gonna take it. That shit is gonna stink. We both gonna be throwing up. Baby, take the garbage. Oh, my bad. I forgot. And sometimes it's not what you say; it's how you say it. Microsoft messaging was a little, all over the world. You know what I mean? So I think if you had a better messaging,
they got what they deserved. But you know what? Sometimes enough is enough, and it seems like that bloodthirst to go after.
What started was it the DRM? Like, what the hell?
They made it out. I mean, listen, Matrick was running the show at the time. They weren't listening to the fans the way they are now. So it was a different situation. But things evolve, and one thing about Xbox fans is they're about their product. I can honestly say that they're not like others who are like, well, let's see what the competition is doing so we can try to bash that, or we're about like I'm about like fucking hounding Mike and asking him, when am I going to get this update? Can I do this? Can I do that? Like, and being told, well, go to the feedback form. That's the way we are. We strive to make the product better. Yeah. We care about what Xbox is.
Hey, look, I'm having problems with the preview update right now, but I reported it. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, well, that's part of the part of the process with being
Yep.
in the
A
preview
preview,
program.
right?
Yeah, you
Listen,
know what I mean.
I mean, listen. I feel Cortana, the start of it. She has problems right now.
It
but
was good, dude. When I first got it, was using it. It was good, and now it's gotten progressively worse.
Yeah, it's a little slow. It'll get better, but
yeah.
I like it. I liked where they're going with that. I like how she is. So, you know. But the thing is that they're always working towards something. They're always working for us. They're listening to us. They listen to us.
Look at the Scorpio message. It's the "We Heard You" console. They're listening to
Exactly.
what people like us are saying. We have a major player for Microsoft and the Xbox team, Mikey Barr, watching what we're doing right now, listening to what we're saying, and probably maybe taking notes or whatever. I don't know, but I'm sure that some of these guys have heard what we've said as hardcore Xbox fans, and they're implementing it. They know about the trolls and the difference between
They know
trolls.
what we're pissed off to. They know when we're pissed off.
Guys, just a quick question, just to get back into what you know, a little bit of the gaming and the Xbox features is, I'm just getting into the preview program. Cortana, how do you guys know the actual Cortana commands? I mean, are there Cortana commands that are different than what we're used to with the usual Xbox prompts?
No, like if you go, "Hey Cortana," okay, what'll happen is that if it's in a, let's just say, let's say the Xbox is off. "Hey Cortana" will. I like the way they do this. The Kinect, for those who are still using the Kinect, will light up, and then you could say "Xbox on," and it recognizes Xbox on, and it'll actually turn on the Xbox. But it's more of like I think they're trying to avoid when people are talking about Xbox within a conversation that the Xbox goes on, because that's kind of annoying.
Yeah, I hate that when I'm talking.
You know, so that's why they did the "Hey Cortana." It definitely needs a little work, but most of the commands, like if you say "Hey Cortana, take a screenshot," she'll say she'll come back and say the screenshot has been taken or whatever.
She'll sing to you too. She'll be like, "Sing me a song" or "Tell me a joke." Right? I swear.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of fun.
I love that. I like that.
Yeah, it is.
I say, "Hey Cortana, what's the score of the Mets game?" That's one of the biggest things that I do.
Yes.
Because and it just comes up, and I'm like, okay.
Just whatever you do, Tim, don't ask her today.
How do you know that updated now?
We lost today.
I know, 5-2.
5-2 to the goddamn Braves.
We can't hit. We can't hit at all.
I know.
At the end of the day, but besides that, and the whole narrative of the bias, I mean, is anything else going on? I wasn't quite sure.
I mean, Mighty Nine. I think.
I heard it bombed. I heard it wasn't.
It bombed, but I don't think it's as bad as people are making it out to be.
Can I be honest about Mighty Number 9?
Sure,
all the media got the PS4 version, which apparently is missing like AF, and the frame rate is really bad. That's not really the problem with an Xbox One version, but nobody reviewed that version.
Right.
So everything that we've seen.
Are you enjoying it? Because I heard it's pretty good.
But GKB has it, Rand has it, I guess, and they're saying it's pretty good. So they say it's like Mega Man. They say it's basically Mega Man. So yeah, I mean,
Pac-Man 256, I can honestly say, is a good game. It's $5.
Hey, you know what? Hey, I bought that, Tim, on your recommendation. And at first, 400 gamer score is super easy.
Yeah.
Pac-Man 250 is a new game for Pac-Man.
It's $5, man. It's like it's
worth it.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. It's addicting. You'll oh man, I gotta go. I gotta keep going or whatever. See, again, sometimes those little games are really fun to play. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think
they're $5. It's no brainer.
Oh yeah.
Phil's game of the year, Inside, is going to be out in.
I've been playing that.
I think it's out today.
Well, I was telling
when
Crap.
Is it supposed
I
to
got to
come
say,
out?
Crap. Well, it comes out Wednesday. Crap and I got review copies, so we'll be putting our reviews out hopefully by the end of the week.
Have you played it?
No,
because it doesn't unlock.
Yeah.
What happens is it doesn't unlock until release day. So.
What game is Inside?
Yeah, it's from the creators of Limbo.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, apparently.
I don't know if I talked about it. Sea of Thieves. I think that great game for all of us to play together. It's going to be awesome. Forza Horizon 3.
That's stole my. Oh my gosh, dude!
I seen it with the HDR on the 1080p, and that's the thing. Just to bring up HDR, I saw the Gears demo on a 4K HDR running on a white Xbox One, And let me tell you something. The HDR is a big fucking deal. Like it is gorgeous, and it really shines in Gears. It also shines in Forza Horizon 3. I mean, Forza's the type of thing like you know what you're gonna get. Like you know you're gonna get the best racer pretty much going, and Forza Horizon 3. It's just like I can't explain playing that game at E3. They just do everything so right. It's so beautiful. We got a lot. We got a lot to look forward to as Xbox fans. Recore. I think you guys. I think Crap will enjoy it. It's not a AAA, I would say. It's more of a AA, but it's a fun game. The mechanics are fun, and we got a bunch of games coming out, and that's not stopped. One thing about this generation is that you look at what Microsoft's given us. They've given us the game. Maybe aside from a little bit of a drought in 2015, but then it was followed by a fucking plethora of games again, we're going into this holiday. We're going to get Dead Rising 4, even though it's a year exclusive, but it is what we're going to have at this holiday. Gears 4, which is a megaton. It's a blockbuster.
Yeah.
You got Recore, and you got Forza
Horizon 3, and you got the Slim.
Yeah, and you got the Slim, and you got a shitload of
you got like top tier stuff like Inside. You also have Cuphead, and you also have We Happy Few, which I'm not a big indie guy, but those three piqued my interest.
We Happy Few is I saw it on the floor. That game is not a game you demo. That's the type of game you would play in a dark room and you just fucking have a beer or something or have a vodka and just lose yourself in it.
Yeah, well, I have already, like I said, I have already pre-ordered Gears of War 4, Recore, Forza Horizon 3, Dead Rising 4, and Xbox One S. So I mean, and yeah, that's like, yeah. I mean, it's, dude, I'm all in, bro. I'm Xbox, man. I believe you cut me
Hey,
open.
crap, listen, we're going to pull a bond on you. I'm not getting a new console. No,
man, come on, man. Hey, listen.
What I had. I don't care about that.
You gotta be. You gotta. Hey, did you hear though? I got there's 4 of them coming. So I'm good, man. Like, here's the thing, right? Like, you can't listen to so much of some of the things that I say. It's more or less what I do.
I felt like when you brought up your concerns, you were well within your right.
Oh, I did. Look, but here's the thing.
It was a change, and it took people by surprise.
I'm telling you, man, he's had a meltdown. Soon as that's it, guys.
I felt Crap was. I remember the time. I felt Crap wasn't wrong at that. I really felt like I felt like the way it came about was the wrong way. They did it. They should have they handled the Play Anywhere very well at
yes,
E3.
they did.
Yeah,
they did not handle it well with Quantum Break.
Hey, that one flipped me out. Like, I was like, what?
They handled the Play Anything so well that you can even ask Mike. Mike's in the chat. I actually wrote to Mike right after I saw that. I go, Mike, give me a laptop, okay? Because I'm in the market for a laptop. What's a laptop I should buy that is fully capable of running my Xbox One games, streaming? Because to be honest with you, I travel a lot for work. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of times you get done with work, you go out, you have dinner with your clients, whatever you're doing, you go back to the hotel. It's 8 o'clock. I don't go to bed at 8 o'clock. I don't usually game till 10 o'clock at night on the East Coast.
Yeah, so, Scorpio and laptop, way to go.
Absolutely. This is huge. So I want to have a good laptop that I can take on the road for work and still be able to game while I'm out there. You know what I mean? And now you just bring the new Bluetooth controller with you and you're good to go.
They're doing things right, and that's and it's good. It's a good time to be an Xbox fan, and I'm happy for the community because
we done had some funny times here on BGST.
We had some crazy.
There was this one time where me and Tim got in a fight.
That was a couple about a few months ago.
Yeah, they're like videos about it and everything.
Yeah, funny.
They're like, it's done. BGST's done. It's over. They got in a fight. They
I
hate
remember
each other.
somebody's like DMs me. He goes, Tim, how could you even be on the podcast again with him the way you fought with him? It was so vicious. I was just like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
I'm like, listen, that's why I like Crap and I like everyone on the show is because there's no behind the back shit with us.
No, we don't do that weirdo stuff there.
Crap's pissed at me. Believe me, he'll give me an attitude. He'll tell
Yeah.
me to fuck off. He'll
And
say,
when I first started talking to Tim, it was right around that time I got in trouble. Well, I got for stealing footage, right? And Tim was like pissed off. He's like, "Yeah, I unsubbed you." He goes this and that, and I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "But don't worry." He goes, "Because I was still
You're
watching
right,
your
yeah.
stuff." He goes, "Yeah, I was still watching your stuff," and he's like, "You're just funny as hell," so I resubbed. I was
yeah,
like,
I mean, listen, we've had all of us. Like, I mean, Mooch and I had an argument once, but one thing about it is that we don't. One thing about it is that we keep it within our circle,
That's
and then we
right.
don't go out of our circle and say,
That's right.
"Oh well, fuck,"
I don't
this
think we
guy's
have-
It's listen, I got to be honest with you. People who listen to us, they got to know. Listen, Zaire says it all the time, and there is something. Listen, we all have our own podcasts, right? We all do different podcasts, but there is something very special about Big Gamer Small Talk. And Zaire, I don't know how much you know about this, but you can ask Crap because I do a lot. I do a couple with Crap. I always plug you. And there is
yeah,
something.
for sure. I'm my brother's
plug, Jay. You always plug
because
people.
you know
And
what
plug
it is?
people in the community too.
We're family, man, and that's what it is. Like, we all came about because there was nowhere else to go. There was nowhere else to talk. There was nowhere else to actually say that I actually cared about. Like, I enjoy playing these types of games. That's all right. And listen, I like the
Xbox One
platform.
is shit. Guess what? Like that to me,
Well,
that was the main point. Like it's not bad. It's not terrible.
Exactly.
Don't listen to what
But
there's obviously an agenda.
You look at and kind of funny actually. You look at kind of funny. I think his name is Tim Getty. I don't know the guy that was
He was the cameraman at IGN for like a while, and then he
Okay,
left.
they came out of E3 and they said basically we're Sony fanboys, and Greg Miller, they all came out. You look at all these people, and there's so many. You look at Boogie, Sony, he's a Sony fanboy. You look at all the big guys. They all favor Sony. Microsoft really does not. Xbox does not have that outlet where, you could still talk about the industry, but you love the product. Xbox IPS, I love you, or whatever. Xbox fans don't have that, and I think that one thing about us is that we are all passionate Xbox fans, and there's nothing wrong with being a passionate Xbox fanboy. Let's get that straight. I can, as long if you're about your Xbox.
Nothing wrong with that. We're all
I can tell you right now, man. I got my Windows phone in my hand right now. I got my HD DVD player hooked up because I see too much food playing here, so I decided to break mine back out. I got my Xbox One. I got my Slim. You know what I mean? I got my Windows 10. I'm on that right now.
You're all in.
Yeah, it's like I'm an Xbox dude. I'm a Microsoft fan. That's just how it is. Like
Crap. There's nothing wrong with that, but they make it seem like we're the cooties of the quote unquote gaming community because we're pro Xbox. Even though we're gamers, we're all biased. Everyone has. I don't keep it down to your children. You always have that special one child that gets it wrong in your eye. It is what it is. We bleed green. We make no quarrels about that. But it's the fact that we're so vocal. And, we don't, how you say, bow our head and go quietly off into the night.
Or we get scared. Or we don't get scared.
I don't care.
There was times I remember I told you, we had a conversation. I said I got this phone call. It was really weird. I called you, Zaire. And I was like, these motherfuckers, like, I'm not going to be afraid of you. Okay, I'll be ready. Every time I get out of my car, believe me, I'll be ready to fuck somebody up. Or you're behind in a tree. I don't give a fuck. I'm not afraid. I'm not going to let somebody intimidate me over the phone or some anonymous message that can't be traced back. That's all pussy shit. And you know what? And that's the type of stuff that we don't really talk about, but we've been up against just because we try to speak the alternative of what that goes on in the media. Now, there are fanatical people, like I said, there are mentally people ill that actually make fake accounts. They'll do it on Discuss. There's a person, Assault Revolver guy. He makes about, I'm talking thousands of fake accounts, and he upvotes the articles to make it look like he'll write a random thing that's negative and he'll upvote it to look like it's more popular. That's how crazy they will make fake accounts.
I don't have enough time in my day.
Now I've never done that in my life. I never would do that to my worst enemy. Is make a fake account to try to sabotage. That's not my DNA.
here's the misconception about us, Tim. We're a little bit raw, I would say, our podcast, right? I don't think there's anything wrong with that. We cuss, we're rambunctious, we're normal people. We're
And
the
like
but we're,
grannies.
yeah, we're the P1s though. We're the ones we're the hardcore gamer though. This is what they are. We're not all prim and proper. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like the hardcore gamers aren't. But people make it out or believe that Microsoft hates people like us when it's clearly not the truth. You know what I mean? They don't. They don't. You know what I'm saying?
I think that to be honest, we've grown. BGST, we've grown.
Oh yeah, the brand has grown. We have grown.
We understand that we what we are, and I think that all of us here have grown a lot too, as far as just what we do, and each and every one of you guys with your podcast, how much you put out there. How could if you're a Microsoft employee or how could you not like you guys?
Yeah.
I mean, come on, let's be honest.
I've heard from a good source that a couple of people really like some of my stuff.
Hey, but listen, let me tell you this. I remember the days of me doing videos getting 5,000 bits. I mean, it was hard. It was hard to beat Xbox. Jesus Christ.
I got told to drink bleach. I got told to drink bleach. I was like, they were like, do this, and I'm like, dude, like, hey, and again, I've told this story like a million times. My channel, White Bread, I just did straight reviews. That's it. Hey, this is crap.
I found crap somewhere on Mr. Rogers' neighborhood.
Yeah, so I just did reviews. I did reviews for everything. Then I saw E3 where Microsoft showed off all these games. I was like, holy crap, Killer Instinct, Dead Rising 3, Forza 5, Rise. Titanfall's coming out early next year. Holy crap, I got to get me an Xbox One. I did a video saying I was excited I was going to get an Xbox One. Thousands of dislikes. People were like, oh, they're trying to kill gaming and take your rights. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I've had a console connected to the internet ever since the Dreamcast. Like, they're always connected. I don't game when I'm offline, even if it's on a single-player game.
You guys always like to say a story about me. I'll be honest with you, I'm flipping through YouTube, and you see Zair's channel. And I'm like, there he is. And he is, just like he says, he's not false proclaiming. He's sitting there waving the flag right now. Crap,
he's twerking.
Yeah,
he's like,
was.
yeah.
He was, and he was just doing his whole thing. He was very entertaining. And I said, this is the only son of a bitch that's on fucking YouTube.
He was.
He's the only one that's coming out. He's wearing a green shirt, talking shit, and he's like, "This is what you guys." And you remember, I'm going to tap into your memory banks because you may not watch your own shit, but we did. You were talking about all the stuff that came out in the news every day, all the different things that Xbox was either rumored to have or what was going to be coming, what it was going to have versus the Sony PS4. And I said, this is I never missed an episode because the guy always was on point, and he was the only one talking.
He was the only one.
And then when BGST brought crap in, then I said, well, wait a minute. Now we got somebody you got Zaire with the entertainment, and crap's bringing in the news. And I said, this is what it is. I turned to my wife. I said, these guys need me.
It's funny. It's funny because I knew Zaire from Facebook, and I didn't even know him from his fucking his things. And I actually like Zaire because, listen, we could talk all we want. Zaire, at the end of the day, a lot of the stuff is entertainment. Zaire's a family man. He's about good things in life, and I became friends with him just based on his Facebook personality. And then I found out that he was doing all these videos, and then he also had a forum called Bang Bang, which we all joke around there. I'll go in there and I'll it's off the hook. But that's how I got involved, was pretty much Zaire too, because I saw Zaire, and I remember his video. I always remember his video versus where are you, Zaire? Did he walk out of the?
No.
Blockbuster Critic.
Yeah, that was a great one.
Yo, that was crazy. That was man, I was hyped up on my. I was cranked up on my. You know what happened to him? I think he got caught watching porn. Something along those lines on
Well, he worked for EA, right? Didn't he?
I don't know, but he said he was a porn director, and that's what he had to cite. It was a bunch of shit. And ever since then, he kind of died down a little bit. But that debate with me and him was it was a classic.
That was classic.
He has everybody debate on his channel, but that one. I tore his ass up. Like, listen to him.
Dude, I remember Z was telling me, dude, he was all sweating like a preacher in church.
yeah, he was, because look, the facts are the facts. He said men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. In my heart of heart, I believe the Xbox One is a better console. So I would argue from here to Shellman Do and El Shadundo from across the street. I believe that. There's nothing you're gonna say is gonna, sway, make me think anything other, man. And I can still stand on the beach and,
Well, he had made it a thing to debate Xbox or Xbots as they
Yeah.
call it. And
I had one lined
he
up.
usually won, and you took him out. I remember. I was like, wow. I remember he said something that was wrong about Xbox Live, and you called him out on it.
He said a whole bunch of shit that was wrong.
But who are you supposed to debate, Crap?
Well, no, me and him were going to have something, right? Because I noticed that a lot of the people he was debating weren't really the most intelligent guys. If you look at the quote-unquote Xbox guys, did some of these pro PlayStation people get on their show? They're not the most intelligent. They're not really a good representation of the product because they don't really know. You know what I mean? Like Kid Snooze and these guys, right? So, whenever you see these guys, Anchorman or whoever, like these guys are all, oh shit, he's name dropping. But anyway, these guys aren't the best representation of the brand because they're like what I like to call like they're the flip floppers and they're the opportunists and things like that. So they aren't really the best. You want to get people like me, Zaire, Tim. I would love to see Mooch get in there because I can guarantee by the end of a debate, Mooch would have the person in line buying an Xbox the next day. You know what I mean?
He'd be doing those fucking. Okay, you take your mom from Italy, right? Console, all right?
I'm still getting tweets, gifs, and memes from everybody basically about my Bobby Flay reference on Xbox Nation.
Bobby Flay.
I somehow worked a Bobby Flay analogy into an Xbox world, and it worked out great. But I mean, I wouldn't mind debating. People always say, "Do you want to debate?" I have no problem debating. The only problem is the two jackasses that keep asking the debate are people that have GEDs, and I don't have a problem with that, but the problem is that they don't know how to debate, and they're just going to keep hitting you with just hate things, Don't go
or
hate.
they just talk louder, like to, you know what I mean, or just start screaming like that. To me, is not a debate.
Make a joke about.
Yeah. If you wanna, like we've had debates between each other in these podcasts, right?
Absolutely.
And it goes fine. Well, except for the one time with me and Tim. But other than that, it's always just pretty much gone fine. And because there's a way to do it. You know what I mean? And just there's got to be some structure to it. Like, look, Zaire, you had one with like ponies versus Xbox or whatever, right?
Yeah,
sometimes that was difficult to watch because everybody's just like.
I got into a split science now. 1 versus 1.
The one with rated D, where he's like, you made him, and he's like, I like PS4 because it's more popular. It has more sales. Yeah. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, because of sales. That was funny. But at the end of the day, man, I'm happy now that going forward, that Xbox fans, they no longer have to hide their head. They no longer going to tease us about resolution, about any of the other silly little things, but
zero frames or something, like on Fallout. Like it's never gonna happen again.
Yeah, and never again. Never again. We should not go quietly into the night. But on that note, for my Game of Thrones lovers, it's time to say
Dude, we get tweets. They're like, wrap it up, guys. Game of Thrones.
For all our Xbox friends. Thank you guys for rocking out with us this week.
Thanks for Mikey Barr. He was answering questions like the whole show pretty much in the chat. So, yeah man.
Thank you.
Mike.
Yeah, thank you, Mike.
But, yeah.
Great show.
We see you guys on, tomorrow? Shameless plug, Xbox Beast Fire. Wednesday, Xbox Nation.
TXR tomorrow. TXR, late night TXR.
Yeah, TXR tomorrow. Tonight or tomorrow? Tonight?
Tomorrow.
So TXR podcast. And Mooch, Crossfire is Thursdays and Fridays. I get on what's
Fridays.
When are we going to get Show back on this show? I mean,
Show has the gout and high blood pressure and diabetes.
Dude, he's got that. He uses that terrible mic where you can't really hear him unless everybody's super quiet.
He got throat cancer, like CB. Let out the show. But yeah,
we love Show.
Yeah, but hey, Mooch, what time is your show? Is it early or is it
6 p.m. on Friday nights?
6 p.m. Was something earlier?
There's a few other good podcasts, man. Like the Console Corner on Tuesdays at usually 7 p.m. Eastern, really good. And then obviously Xbox Nation on Wednesdays. Four Guys with Quarters, they do Thursdays. Mooch does Fridays with Crossfire, and then Saturday PTK.
PTK, great. Who I try to make, but a lot of times I have family obligations.
You know what? He does a really good podcast
great.
Because his is only an hour. He's like, I did a show, right? He goes, don't worry, crap, we're gonna do an hour, and I've heard that shit before. You know what I mean? Like,
His
Yeah,
show
but he
is very
literally
fast.
on the dot. Yeah, it is. It's fast as hell.
He's the type of guy like he's like, you're gonna be there at 7. He's like hitting me up at 6:45. Tim, where are you, Tim? Where are you? You know, like we're 7. He's 7 on the dot, and you know what? It works because it's a Saturday. But like I said, sometimes I can't make the show because of family obligations and stuff.
Yeah.
But he is another awesome, great guy in the community.
Hey
and,
Tim, you should come out sometime. Like GKB and She-Wolf does game nights every Saturday at like 9:30 Eastern.
I never get invited to game night.
want Z.
Dude, everybody's invited.
Man, stop it. I think
shout out to them. They're doing very well.
Zaire, I would like to get Zaire in there because Z, you are one of the most entertaining motherfuckers when you play a game. I even miss you. You know what you got to do, Z? You got to Twitch again. You have to Twitch stream some games. It's been a minute.
Man. As soon as I get rid of this $2 a day coke habit, I'm in there, man.
Well, dude, you know what's funny is like we played Forza Horizon 2 last night and Titanfall.
No one called me. When I was home picking my feet and eating boogers. No one tells me shit. No one tells me shit, but
you could have done worse than Mooch, because Mooch.
Yeah, Mooch can't drive for shit.
I can't. Listen, here's the deal. I'm all about Forza Horizon. I'm going to be buying Forza Horizon 3 comes out on my birthday, by the way. I got news for you. Fantastic game. I'm going to be buying. But the thing is, though, playing it multiplayer with 24 racers, this and that, that's just not. Game night needs to be a shooter. I hate to say it. It's got to be a shooter game. Or
what about a co-op game?
Or like a soccer cars or a co-op game. Something where it's just like mass, like you can have mass craziness, but it's part of what the game has it built into. The racing is like me and Crap just nudging each other, banging each other into a guardrail. Get the fuck off me. No, you get the fuck off me. No, you get the fuck off me. Like, that's not really fun for 3 hours. So, like, what I'm thinking is we do...
every Saturday? Is every Saturday?
Every Saturday at like 9:30 Eastern.
9:30, 10 o'clock Eastern.
I'm there. But on that note, we get out of here. We got a minute before Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
All right.
Thank you guys for rocking out with us. Check out the multiplayer podcast. It's Thursday at 7. We're going.